you girls are vultures. I mentioned a training to help lead consultants get to team manager, and you're all over that. So I did it first thing this morning. Okay, so here's the deal. After talking to a bunch of leaders in Jamberry, home office, everything, has decided that the biggest hang up in people's Jamberry journey is after they hit lead consultant. Between that time and the time they hit team manager, they kind of get lost. And either that means they quit completely, or it just takes them a really long time to make that transition. So home office is starting to collect and gather some new trainings for girls in that area, and I wanted to pass along what I learned, some of which was given at regional conference, and some of it is just my own personal perspective. So the reason I think that a lot of girls get hung up at the lead consultant area is because when you first start, we give you goals to meet, the fast starts. And so we say, if you can do $500 in one recruit in your first month, good job, here's a reward. If you can do $600 in one recruit in your second month, good job, here's a reward. If you can get you and those 2 recruits to make $1,500 TRV that next month, good job, lead consultant. Here you go, here's a reward. And then after that, you're kind of lost. You don't have any guidance or any stepping stones to kind of know, if I do this, then I will get this. And so that's what I guess this training is going to try to do for you. So here is what, if you break down the numbers and everything, which I won't bore you with, I have a feeling home office is going to release this information very soon. If you break down the numbers, then you will see that you have 2 girls underneath you. If you're at lead consultant, you have 2 girls underneath you and yourself, at least. You may have more. And you guys have hit 1,500 TRV together. And then all of a sudden the next month, if you want to rank up to senior lead consultant, you and those 2 girls now have to make 3,000 TRV. And that's a really hard jump. So the key here is not only keeping yourself and those 2 girls active and booking enough parties to do their fair share of that amount, but also recruiting. You cannot stop the recruiting just because there's no longer a fast start bonus for it. So here's my advice, and this I gleaned a little bit from Jennifer Harmon during regionals. 5 parties. If you can book 5 parties personally, and if your entire team can add 5 people to your team. So you can add 3 and one of the other girls can add 2. You can add 1 and both of them can add 2. It doesn't matter. Add 5 people to your team. If you can do that, 5 personal parties and 5 recruits to your team, you can hit that next level. And here's the thing. It's the same goals each month. 5 parties, 5 recruits. Once you hit senior lead consultant, that next month, I want you to do 5 parties, 5 recruits, and guess what? That's going to get you to premier. If you do 5 parties, 5 recruits, that's going to launch you to team manager. Okay, so you as the leader of your small growing team there, this is what I suggest you do. I suggest you offer an incentive for these things. If they can book 5 personal parties and reward for recruiting. And let me give you a little piece of advice that I've seen some people kind of making a wrong choice here. If you are not a team manager yet, that means you have a team manager above you, and they are likely offering some incentives. Like, for instance, if I'm your team manager, I always offer something for Club Active, getting active by the 10th of the month. Do not offer your girls something for getting active by the 10th of the month, because you just double rewarded them for one effort. Let me reward them for that, and you pick something else to reward them for, and that way we're motivating them on all different levels. So if I'm gonna give them a half sheet for Club Active, then you give them a half sheet for a recruit, okay? So find an incentive for each recruit they get, and then make it a big deal as a team for you guys to recruit 5. And if you guys can hit that goal as a team, then maybe up the prize a little bit. Instead of a half sheet, a full sheet. And I promise you, the extra commissions and the bonuses and the promotions you're going to see from those 5 extra recruits is going to be worth a full sheet of nail wraps. So So I suggest you do that. Offer some incentives to let these goals be known in your team. We want to do 5 personal parties and 5 recruits. And listen, and when I say 5 personal parties, we would love for those to be successful parties. And I know we can't predict which ones are going to be duds, but here's what I suggest you coach your team to do. Book 5 parties in the beginning. And obviously you're trying to play bingo. If you don't know how to book off of bingo, please find my bingo tutorial on YouTube. So as you're playing bingo and booking more parties, we want to try to set a goal for ourselves of 5 successful parties. So if one of your 5 original parties that you booked turns out to be a dud, make it your goal and your team's goal to replace that party on their calendar. So luckily, even if it's a dud party, a lot of times you can still get a booking out of bingo. So hopefully that can just replace the parties and keep the cycle going. Because if you can have 5 successful parties, let's just say you call a successful party $100. That's $500 that each of these girls are contributing to that TRV. Well, you only need 6 of them to do that, and you just added 5 to your team, so you have 8 total people from where you started at lead consultant. So you have a little wiggle room there, and so it almost guarantees you that success. So that's my advice to start with. 5 personal parties, 5 recruits added to your entire team that month. And here's the deal. If you're dealing with 3 people on your team and you want to add 5 recruits, you know, that may seem, oh man, that's a lot that 1 month. But guess what? Once you get up to senior lead consultant and you have 8 people on your team, and you get to premier consultant and you have 13 people on your team, 5 recruits between all of those people is not that much more. So realize that, you know, again, you're going to have some wiggle room there. So what do you guys think? Can you do it? Okay, so I can hear some of you talking to yourself, that little voice in your head saying, I'm not going to be able to do 5 recruits. My team, we're so bad at recruiting. And so I want you to rest assured, hey, a huge jump that I've seen in recruiting has been since I started running my new recruits launch parties. And it's crazy because I was doing it to get them their first few sales and to get them their first few bookings. But after I started running their launch party, I noticed that people that were at that launch party were immediately signing under their friend, probably because they saw how much I was helping her get started, and so they felt almost rest assured that they were also going to receive help getting started. And so it takes away a lot of the fear of joining when you feel like, oh, they're going to run my first launch party for me. That will help me so much. Yeah, I'm not scared anymore. So and so I have found that almost every new recruit that I have run their launch party for already has a recruit under them in their first month, not even their join month and their first. They are much better at recruiting. Not only did they see me do it in their party, but I'm kind of serving up their first recruit on a silver platter. So if you are not running your newbies launch parties, please do it. Please, I am telling you, it is going to make your business successful. It is a little bit more work for you using SenseShare, and it is a lot of benefit. It's going to build you some strong girls in the beginning who are going to be able to recruit and who are going to be able to sell.